Are you ready?
The meaning of life is progression. So if something doesn't progress, it doesn't live. It's up to you. If you want to keep living, you got to keep going. I'm only going to speak on things that I know.
A broken clock is right 2 times a day.
Why not travel that distance with positivity?
Know your role and shut your mouth.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Know Your Role. We've got a very special guest in the building, so I hope you guys are ready and you brought your pencils and your papers because you're going to take some notes today. This is for success, and this is upbuild yourself for the future, and make sure that you're in the right position that you need to be. So before we go ahead and get started, you know me, I'm your boy Ro, and we're going to go around and introduce you to our co-host. First up, we have the talented artist, hustler, goal-getter. There's no excuses, and she always speaks her mind with her own opinion, and she's not afraid. Pheonyx.
Well, welcome to another show, you guys. We're in the building. Let's go. Very excited to be here. We have a wonderful co-host here and a special guest, so looking forward to bringing you another hot topic. See you soon.
And then up next, we have Soze himself, the man who is an unorthodox thinker at times, but he's always connected and always finds a way to connect the dots. Once again, give it up for Soze.
Woo! My God. Once again, gratitude. The intros are always just spot on. I mean, it's not even off the cuff. It's like, it's as if you know me.
Oh, you know? I hope so.
It's profound. Thank you, gang. Good to be here. Good to be here running back the second episode. And just, it's an honor. Let's fill this and let's learn from each other, man. I think we got a great panel today. I'm really excited to see what comes of it, for sure.
Absolutely. And without further ado, we have the man, the myth, the legend, who has made sure that we had the underdogs get a shot in this tough music industry where a lot of people don't get a fair chance. From MCA to Warner's to also working with Ruthless Records from Eazy-E. This is the one, the only Ernie Singleton. How are you doing?
Awesome, man. I'm doing excellent. And sometimes I am better than that.
Ooh.
Tonight,
there we go.
I'm only excellent.
Oh,
Not only. We'll take it though. I love
better.
it.
It gets better.
There we go. Yes, it does.
better.
We'll make sure.
Every now and then, when you get a chance to be in the presence of greatness,
Yes, sir.
like this team on this panel,
Oh, my man.
then you can get to raise the roof. But
Thank you.
perspective.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
Let's do it perspective.
That's right.
There we go.
Yeah.
It was funny on the way here. I caught a flat tire.
Life.
And so while I was catching the flat, I was on the phone with Ernie and our friend Steve, and they heard me, and I said, "Oh, I gotta call you back. And the moment I called back, Ernie says, "How are you?" I said, "I'm all right." He said, "I thought you had a flat."
It ain't gonna change it. It ain't gonna change it. Yeah, for sure.
But it's that kind of positivity. You don't let anything get you down. You just keep going and you keep grinding. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's a lot of people who make excuses, and then those are the people that live with a lot of regrets. And then you've got the other people on the opposite side of that spectrum that push through no matter what. And speaking of which, Ernie, you have pushed through against all the odds at different times. Mm-hmm. And you've came up on top with success. And I just, want to applaud you and thank you for the different contributions that you've done throughout music and the people that you've assisted.
That's overrated. You kind of push through that. You know, it's funny you saying that. Pheonyx and I were talking earlier about, I call it attitude adjustment. Mm. You know, sometimes things aren't where you want them to be. It's not what you need them to be, and you know, it's kind of like you having a flat tire, right?
Yeah.
And you have to think on the moment.
Mm.
Yep.
That's you could be annoyed, mad with your car, pissed off because you rolled over some nails or you was in some other craziness, or you can get into the solution.
Mm.
And it's an attitude adjustment. Mm. So rather than, damn it, what the hell, yada, yada, yada. No. That's negative energy.
Ooh,
yep.
Where were you before the flat?
Yes.
What was your energy level then?
Happy.
Right.
Stay there.
Yep.
Yes.
Stay there. Don't let a situation that's not favorable take up that much space. And it's really bad when you let people do that to you.
Oh yeah.
You let somebody tick you off. So now all of a sudden you got road rage, or you mad, or you want to kick their butt, or you Like, hold up, time out. Where were you before you got annoyed with whatever?
Right.
Yes.
It's called negative energy.
Yeah.
You know, negative
Yeah.
energy, in my opinion, and positive energy doesn't exist in the same space.
They can't.
You know, I mean,
Worry and doubt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, worry and faith.
Well, it's like the ruler. You know, I'm a fanatic with math and stuff like that. But,
No, yeah.
But 0, -1, -2, -3, or you're at number 4. That's where if I'm at 4 and you're gonna knock me down to 3 or 2, like whoa, I can't let that happen.
You're talking to an accounting major, so this gentleman knows some
But
numbers.
stay in the positive
doubt.
energy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because the
That's right.
energy is going to take you to go back now from that -2 to
Right.
get back to the 4.
Yeah.
How about go from 4 to 6?
And to your
Yeah.
point, Ernie,
So stay positive, man, and yeah.
to your point,
100%.
Ernie, the distance still has to be traveled. Why not travel that distance with positivity? Sometimes the solution still has to occur, and it's like, why not,
Yeah.
handle that solution with just a little bit more strength
Yeah.
instead of folding under that moment.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's nothing I accomplished. I appreciate your accolades. There's nothing I accomplished that I did by myself. It was teamwork.
Yeah.
And I didn't always know where other people's space was. Now I know where my head is when I'm on a trajectory
Yeah.
to make something happen. And anything that deflects from that, like you talking about driving and having a flat, it's a problem. But you got to quickly get in solution.
Otherwise, you're going to be stuck there in the same spot with this flat. You could have been progressing the whole time.
But
Yes.
when you have people like Pheonyx and what's
Quan.
our Quan,
Yeah.
when you got engineers who know the score, all you got to do is just keep your head on right and communicate a message or two to your teammates and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be able to pull like audibles.
Yeah, we enjoyed you not being here,
There we go. It's all perfect. It's always perfect. Yes, sir.
but it's about having a positive attitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
and being focused on your mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, and other people's mission as well, because sometimes we don't know what our comrades' missions are.
You're
We
right.
don't know what their heart is.
Or what placement they're at right now currently in their journey.
Yeah.
Some people are recovering and they're not done yet, and you're like, okay, like you can see the talent and you can see the kindness in their heart, but it's just not the exact time for them. But you still give them a chance or try to uplift them.
Yeah, but sometimes we don't have that arsenal in our toolbox. So we don't have it. So we don't apply it because we never knew it existed.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? So, I remember I was a radio jock. And this is way back in the day. But I was a radio jock. And I did the research, Phoenix. I did the research on the music
Right.
to try to see what was selling and what wasn't. And we did everything manually. We had to telephone call record stores and ask them what was their best-selling records. And as long as we called stores in the hood,
Right.
if it were an artist, I don't know, let's say Supremes or Aretha Franklin or Gladys Knight, the radios were like through the roof. I'd call into the suburban areas of town where our white comrades lived, and you'd ask about, I don't know, let's say Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Dinah Ross and the Supremes, or Proud Mary by Tina Turner.
Yeah.
People might say, oh, that we're doing okay with that. We not, or they might say, we don't have that. We're not selling that. I said, well, what's your best-selling record? That was one of my questions at the end. And they might say something like, well, it's Harper Valley PTA. And it dawned on me that I'm talking to a community, a region of the city, a community that doesn't live in our space.
Right.
I thought that anyway, until I saw something on Netflix called Sunday's Best. It's a story about Ed Sullivan in the Ed Sullivan Show.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's weird. This show took place in the 60s, late 50s. It was a 1956 start era for that show. And so I'm I wasn't tuned in. With, TV was only 3 channels then, and it went off by 11 o'clock.
And that's when you get the lines on the screen.
The Ed Sullivan Show came on Sundays, but there was protests going on in the streets around America. The Montgomery situation was happening. The boycott, I think it was. I don't know what it was about, but there was a boycott. But the John Pettis Bridge or whatever the bridge is called in Montgomery. So all that was going on. The black people were being hosed down and dogs put on them.
Yeah.
But when they artists would perform on Ed Sullivan, Diana Ross would kiss Ed Sullivan. Or he would hug him. That was not the norm in our nation.
Yeah.
So it was just interesting to see that.
Right.
And I just think it's so crucial that we realize that we talked about this before you got here. Everything must change.
Yeah.
And theoretically, and it will change. Sometimes we don't like it. Most of us fight change, and I'm not talking about negative change. We fight positive change.
Yeah.
When I went to college, the computer took up a room about the size of this studio.
Yeah. The giant computers, yeah.
Yeah, I'm old as dirt. I'm 2 days older than water. So, but that was a computer. Today, our computers are cell phones.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was an incredible change, technological change as well. So it's just interesting, man, that life brings a lot of transitory activity in our lives. And, sometimes we don't know how to react to something because it's foreign to us. And, doesn't mean we're wrong. We just don't know.
I wanted to ask you on that. Speaking about the civil rights movement that was going on in that time frame, and you still got to push through. Right now, I don't know if you guys heard, there were 2 people that got lynched.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah,
At HBCUs at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in these times where we're starting to see these radical racists step up again, what's some advice that you would give to the people that didn't live through that experience to say this is the best way to keep pushing forward?
Oh, I don't have the answer to that one. That's a very touchy situation, and it's critical that everybody's not going to follow my recipe.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you got to neutralize a problem if you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you can do is try.
Yeah.
But if you and it doesn't guarantee you're going to be successful. So I don't have a real solution. I do believe that people need to think before they comment.
Yeah.
Everything that goes on in our head should not come out of our mouth.
I
Just
agree.
Don't do it. Hard is that going to be for both people? Don't do it. Do not do it.
Those optics of seeing Diana Ross kiss Ed Sullivan and just kind of be on TV and have this kind of moment where a barrier is perceptively broken. You worked with Biggie Smalls, and seeing a larger character in the hip hop game, and then seeing a large stretch of time where the optics now become oversized, garments for the culture for a long period of time. Do you think that those optics, and just to join both of these topics in, do you think that the optics of a thing can very much at large help sway the perspective or help push either a narrative or a culture or a statement forward?
Oh, absolutely. It definitely. Interesting you mentioned Biggie. Biggie was my artist before he made the album, right?
Okay.
I funded that album. But when I first met Biggie, he was a typical brother, man, with the dingy white T-shirt.
Not
and
dingy.
yeah,
Oh, it was.
yeah,
It was.
yeah. And he was at some event in L.A. and Biggie was spinning and Diddy was in the booth with him. Well, we made the deal, made the album. What you were referencing to, I thought about something different. My mind with Biggie went through. He was a big guy,
Yeah.
reasonably overweight, grimy, but we think of artists and we think of recording artists and musicians and singers and background singers and dancers. There's a guy named Groovy Lou who fashionably dressed Biggie.
Okay.
He dressed this big fat brother.
Shout out Groovy Lou.
Yeah. He dressed him, and the name brand clothing manufacturers, Versace and Louis Vuitton, they didn't make clothes for big men.
That's what I was always wondering where he got those from.
Coogee
Because he's got
vibes.
In many
Gucci.
cases,
Tangles.
Groovy would take the fabric and would make the clothes.
Whoa.
Kind of like Dapper Dan.
He
was
made
doing.
the clothes for
Yeah.
Biggie. I mean, for Biggie.
That's incredible.
But so much so with Biggie wearing the Coogee sweaters and the Versace and just the clothing that he was wearing, the jewelry to match.
Yeah.
He made it fashionable and cool for big dudes to dress because they couldn't find them clothes in stores.
Man.
Yeah.
They didn't
Man.
exist.
You know what? You're right.
It was only a few
that's-
like Carl Kanai. Then I know they made large, you know.
Yeah.
I'm big and tall now, but that was before
Right.
then.
That was not name brand though. It was
Yeah,
just a
that's
store.
not. That's still not necessarily name brand, but it's like you got to do what you got to do. Go to big and tall.
Right.
But sometimes you
Right.
can create the name brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's a challenge. That's a plus for Carl Kanai.
Right.
That was a plus for Fubu.
Yeah.
They created it.
Cross
And-
colors.
Yeah.
I mean,
they
that's where I
created it.
first found out about Gucci. Living better now, Gucci sweater now. I was like,
Yeah.
well, I gotta get
And
a
they
Gucci
use it in
sweater.
songs. They would use it. They would wear the clothes, talk about it, sing about it. But that's taking a negative
Yeah.
because being overweight was negative.
Mhm.
You wear kind of dingy clothes, and hip hop gear wasn't what Biggie was wearing until he started wearing it. Then all of a sudden, it became really fashionable for big dudes to kind of dress real fly, like they couldn't dress before.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially if he's getting it custom made for him. Like it's like this is a 101 right now. Like,
Yeah. But that's why fashion is so important. And if you're a clothing designer, I mean, let's look at what Lady Gaga did when she came out.
Yeah.
I mean, she wore the big hat, not Erykah Badu big, but
No.
she wore she wore the big hat. She had guys carrying her into award shows,
Right.
captivating.
Yeah.
The cameras, the attention, the media talk, everything.
You mind if I spin on something?
Absolutely.
Segue over to something I thought about when I actually heard you speak about in another interview. You mentioned something at one point in time when you were a DJ, you would actually call yourself and block the lines so that you could focus in
yeah.
and
Yeah.
let them hear
Yeah.
what you were, where
Yeah.
you were trying to
Yeah.
go with your spin.
Yeah.
What can a modern artist do or a DJ do in these times to really kind of, in your opinion, stand apart and kind of do what you did in terms of paving an opportunity to be seen?
Good
Wow.
question.
Be creative.
Okay.
That's the simple answer. That means a lot of different things.
Okay.
It's like I was flabbergasted when I heard Doja Cat. I don't know the name of the song now, but it started off with the Dionne Warwick, Burt Bacharach track, "Walk On By."
Yeah.
Just the intro.
Agora Hills.
Yeah.
Just the
That's
intro.
recent, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Agora Hills.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the other one that used Big Mama Thornton's "You Ain't Nothing But a"?
Oh,
That song was "You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog."
Hound dog, yeah.
Hound Dog.
yeah, I think it's called Hound Dog, right? Yeah.
So I say that because
Sure.
there's so much to talk about in terms of that, and I'm not the creative guy that makes the music, but I've seen enough creative people.
Shoot, you've
Do it.
you've been you've been a pioneer yourself,
well,
yeah.
But there are lots of lanes we can all function in.
Right.
It's important to have a little bit of respect though for the rest of the team,
Sure.
because sometimes we don't know what the hell he's doing, we don't know what the hell he's doing, we don't know what she's doing. It's like, and that's you don't have to know.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
art.
Yeah.
Mm,
It's art.
right.
It's not a cookie cutting thing. It's art.
Mm,
I was at MCA and I had Heavy D and had Eric B. and Rakim, and we had Houdini. Those are the only rap artists, and Curtis Blow.
Man.
Those are the only rap artists that I had ever had any involvement with.
Wow.
It was in a time where, bitch better have my money, and
Yeah.
he called that woman a hoe, and all that was
Yeah.
okay. And everybody, my friend, by the way, the everybody's I'm talking about, were complaining about it. And I said, well, they didn't invent those words. You can't stop them from saying what they say. We ended up having to testify in Congress, House of Representatives,
Yeah, that's.
about lyrics.
I was just gonna ask you about that.
Censorship.
Yeah.
for sure,
Back
for
again.
sure.
The conversation swiveled right back around.
There we go.
And that's interesting you say that, because to me it's so important. It is so important. I had Ice-T, and Ice-T had done a record called Fuck the Police. And police associations around the country were having people to cancel their Time Warner cable subscription. So what's happening to Jimmy Kimmel is kind of reminding me of that
Full
situation,
circle.
because I get it.
They're like, we can't necessarily take it out on the recording label, but we can take it out in their pockets one night way or another.
This was a policeman, because the song was "Fuck the Police."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm not mad with the policeman, and I wasn't mad with Ice-T.
Hey, you said what you said, and you feel how you
freedom
feel.
of speech, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So the point I was making, we in the testimony, it was weird to me, and I didn't know that I was going up against a lot of my friends. I'm here defending the lyrics and freedom of speech and all that stuff, First Amendment rights, and I'm fighting some friends of mine. I was fighting Don Cornelius. They were not really physically fighting, but they were on the other side of the table. Sharpton, Dionne Warwick. I love Dionne to this day. But my position was not about any of that. It was about, no, guys, you can't. They didn't invent the words. It's art.
Yeah.
I worked for a jazz company before MCA in Casablanca and in Warner Brothers, and it was just jazz.
Yeah.
So I get it,
Mm-hmm.
but from jazz to pop or R&B,
Mm-hmm.
to hip hop, so the music went through a lot of transitions, and but dear friend of mine, he's dead now, Quincy Jones. Quincy said something to me that was stunning. Quincy was in my office. He left, not left. He was going to the studio that night to record. He's going to record Sarah Vaughan, Kumo D, Big Daddy Kane, and Ice-T. Those were the artists with Sarah Vaughan.
And how much of a span of time was he recording all of them?
Don't matter. He was in my office today. The next day he's in my office again. I said, "Oh, Q, how did they go in the studio last night, man?" He said, "Oh, Ernie, man, those are some amazing artists." I said, "Wow." Quincy was the impresario of jazz.
Right.
This man, the Anford and Sons theme, and there was a TV show called Mod Squad, that theme. Quincy was just phenomenal and respected around the world as that guy. So for Quincy to say artists, I said, "Wow, Quincy." I said, "You called them artists." I said, "I've never heard anybody refer to rappers as artists before." That was from a jazz foundation.
Yeah.
And Quincy said something to me. He said, "Ernie," he said, "mark my word." He said, "Every 25 years, when the music changes, the people who like the old music will put down the new music."
Because hip hop was supposed to die.
It
They said it
was.
would die. They literally said this genre is not going to stiff it out. They weren't getting much rotation on MTV. It was a lot of.
Yeah, it was looking bleak for it. And that's why I think, for example, going back to like Biggie, what he talks about in Juice, he talks about like, remember rapping Duke, Taha, Taha. And that was the spoof that they were doing. The guy was making fun of Clint Eastwood. He was always in Westerns. And so he called himself the Rapping Duke. And that's where he did the song. And the hook was Taha, 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 Taha. And that was during a time frame where they were like, okay, this is the end of the phase. Like now people are getting over it, but it kept refreshing and coming back different ways.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, so I used to DJ, And when I started DJing, my parents were like, you can only DJ in the house if it's a song we know. If it's a song we don't know, you can't DJ it here. So I said, okay. That's when I got into finding songs in the 80s, the 70s. That's, how I found about Big Daddy Kane. This is how I found out about several artists that I was listening to on repeat, like Beastie Boys, which, they were around still when I was born, but it was a different when you hear their peak.
Right.
So it's interesting to know, like, from how many years that you've been in the industry, that you've seen this change throughout the years, and there was no judgment, but you just knew exactly what they were missing to be like, okay, if you guys tighten up here, are we bringing someone for this and on the team, and you apply that. In today's climate, I was wondering, for a new artist, what is some advice that you would give someone that is trying to shake all the music up and they're younger?
Probably there are numerous things that come into play and come to mind for me, but have a solid team. And you don't have to have the team walking in the door when you get started, but be open-minded to having team players. We were talking earlier about Fashion and Groovy Lou, a Biggie. Team. That's a piece. That's not your songwriter. That's not necessarily, there are things we need that most people don't understand that we need. A lot of our current generation of people know that if they put something out and they stream it and that's good, but how many streams you got to have before you make $1?
Yeah. You gotta. I know if you get like 1 million streams, you're looking at about $1,000.
Yeah.
So it could be $700 to $1,000 for 1 million streams, but that's still a lot.
A lot what?
A lot. No, a lot to push to get.
That's
I'm
a lot of
sorry.
streams
I'm
for a
saying
little
not a
money.
lot of money, but a lot to get that little amount of money.
I would tell young people. I would tell young people so many things that you have to do. You need a good team. You've got to have make music for the masses. Don't make music just for yourself. Oh, I like this. Oh, it's my favorite track. Well, it might be your favorite, but test it on some other people. But now a lot of the other people you test it on will give you
Feedback.
flattering, positive responses.
Yeah.
And some of them aren't qualified to give feedback, but you get it anyway, and you buy it. And they're not even qualified to tell you anything. Well, I like it. But they don't, because they don't. Again, they don't have a grounded opinion. But if I'm gonna make $1,000, and now you want a label to sign you, like, whoa, that's my recommendation is be an artist. Don't make music just for yourself. I'm not saying don't make music for yourself, but think about you want other people to fall in love with you.
Yeah.
Diversify your portfolio.
Yeah. Have a team. It doesn't hurt to have a glam squad. I've had so many artists who going on TV and I'm thinking, oh, you need to lose some weight. So I can't tell them that.
No.
So I hire a person that's can deal with that and tell them, hook them up and take them shopping and the whole 9 yards. I don't do none of that. I'm gonna tell you if you're the stylist what my concerns are.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna tell the artist. And heaven forbid if it's a woman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good man. Good man.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair
Good man.
But you need a stylist. You need. Today we do need influencers, but the influencers also need to know, like, how many people are making music, young people, and are getting it on what we call the tertiary radio station. Don't nobody listen to radio. I already heard that too many times.
Yeah.
The tertiary radio stations are your small stations. You'd be surprised, but there's a cost. There's a cost to do it, to access it, to understand what they are, and there's a way to grow, to get to the bigger stations.
Scaling.
Yeah. So you start with the smaller ones and you keep progressing, and then soon everyone else will hear it. But it's a good milestone just to hit because now you have some recognition behind yourself.
But it's important to have the team. Because if you don't know nothing about it, you're not going to be able to pull it off.
No.
Not something you can do once. There are days of the week that matters. There's a time of the day of the week that you need to be there. And the list goes on.
Yeah.
There's a lot. So you hire professionals.
Ernie, just to pull it full circle, I think that's what makes you and your talent and your skill set so valuable. You, much like at the beginning where you were saying, well, sometimes it's an unknown amongst people. What you don't know, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the biggest and the most invaluable part that you bring to the table is the ability to see where the gap is and to have trained long enough and failed long enough and succeeded long enough to know how to fill that void or say the word to get that, or know the person, have the contact. There's just so many things that you bring to the table. Even as I look up your names that people call you, bro, like it's just like I was a little taken aback because I'm like, I don't think a man can have this many names. I don't think, like, this man XL, this man, this, that, and the other. And it was amazing to me. The myriad of things that you can do. And they are so valuable because as an artist, as a person that is maybe so creative, he may lack the wardrobe, he may lack the finances, or he may think that he lacks these things. And just a man of your just information and vast knowledge can come in and say, no, that's not where your problem is at all. X, Y, Z. And I just think that even if there's no segue, I just wanted to lay that compliment out because just what you do bring to the table, and there's so many different facets that you bring, they are valuable.
Yeah, that's flattering, but thank you.
It might be true. It just might be true. That's why I had to bring him back. I'm like, no, you said that first. Don't be humble on me.
Well,
yeah, no. I think it's just true. Go ahead.
Yeah, it goes back to just teamwork, man.
Yeah,
plays a major role. We I remember when we did the Bobby Brown record, My Prerogative. Do what I want to do is my prerogative. We had another artist who was very, very well known, very popular, older, a guy named Bobby Womack, who was like somebody you bow down to.
yeah.
Okay, but the song My Prerogative worked for Bobby. It could not have worked for Bobby Womack. It was wrong.
Yeah.
Yo, now I got to hear it.
It wasn't
Bobby
a good
Womack,
fit.
My Prerogative. I got to hear it.
It wasn't a good fit.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, if you go to Bobby Womack, Bobby was before
Yes, sir.
Bobby's
For sure.
Bobby Brown's time. But
Yeah.
but he had songs like Sweet Caroline. That's the way I feel about you. Woman's Gotta Have It. It was like different. Different.
Soul. Yes, sir.
Hardcore love song.
Yeah.
But he also had hardcore garbage can love songs.
Right.
I mean, but he was that guy.
Yeah.
He was that guy. But in other words, the song got to fit the artist.
Yeah.
You can't be in your 40s or 50s talking about that's my prerogative. It's like, this shit don't work.
No.
But if you're Bobby Brown and it's different.
Yeah.
Bobby would make love to women on stage with their clothes on and all of his clothes on. So much so that in cities like Columbus, Mississippi, Columbus, or Macon, Georgia, it would hit the newspaper.
What he was doing on stage?
They would shut the show down. Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Like the modern day Chris Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody
thing.
somebody might need to
That's
stop
right.
Chris. He be getting too far sometimes. I'm like, hey.
These women are volunteering. This is
You're
consensual.
right. But sheesh, man. Sometimes it's like, all right, we gotta go.
They are lining up for it.
But the media loved it.
Yeah.
If it makes the news, that's kind of what we're dealing with the killing that just happened, and it's the most significant thing to talk about, and everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
So, but artists have to make music, and they have to make. It's about building the artist more than building the song. You got to build the career of the person. And that requires a lot of things that sometimes a lot of the artists don't know. They don't know the science of what comes in, what needs to go in.
Most don't. They're
Yeah.
focused on the creative process and they're not thinking on the business side. And a lot of them aren't even astute to be able to have this conversation. They just want to be so locked in on the craft. But I guess that segues me to a question. You've been in this industry for quite some time. And it seems like at every turn, you've been able to reinvent yourself to still stay fresh, innovative, and ahead of trends. What has been your process for evolution that you feel?
That's a very good question. I don't know if I have a fly answer for that. Just just being confident,
Okay.
being committed. Don't take no for an answer.
I love that.
Doesn't mean that I don't leave when you tell me no, but I'll be back.
That's right.
And if I'm coming back, I'm coming back because I'm thinking it through, and I'm coming back because my mission is to achieve my objective.
Ooh.
So I got to come back.
Right.
And I sometimes no doesn't mean no. It means I need to know more. KNOW.
Know your role.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
They need to
That's
know
right.
more. Or, but here we go again about the tertiary radio station.
Yeah.
So if I come back to you and I'm telling you we have 15 or 20. I had a record that actually did that. I worked a record back in the day. Some of the people might not know what the record is. Killer record. It was a studio group. It wasn't even a band. The name was Lips Inc. The song was Funky Town.
That song was hidden.
Yeah, but it was a hard record to break.
Yo.
I got the record played at a station in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
I got it played at a station in El Paso, Texas. And there was one other market. Jackson, El Paso. Don't remember the third one. But that was it. This went on for like 6, 7, 8 weeks. But the record would do stupid stuff.
Right.
It would be, they'd start playing it, and then it would go into their top 20. Then it would go from the top 20 into their top 5, and then it would go number 1. I was like, damn. Meanwhile, everybody's telling me no.
Yeah.
Because whatever, I don't know why.
The disco
I
funk
didn't
kind of vibe. That it was unique.
But it was a sound. It was a fun record.
It was fun. Yeah.
And as time went on, the record finally caught on around the whole entire country.
Became nostalgic.
But
That's
it
what
took
was.
almost 3 to 4 months before the record ignited to a point where you could find it and hear it everywhere.
So in these small cities that you were playing these records in, were people calling in later on to be like, what was the name of that song, or calling to request it?
I was a marketing guy promoting the music. Okay. But as I would talk to my friends at radio, or I'd look at their playlist from week to week, and like, wow, we went from number 35 to number 17. It's like, damn, it's a big jump.
Yeah.
We went from 17 and now we're in the top 10.
That's
So
Goodness.
that was happening at those 3 markets that I mentioned to you.
yeah.
So while everybody else was saying no, 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 I thought I wasn't buying it. And I kept coming back with the information. Well, not just me. It was happening around the country. We were having a hard time around the U.S. I was at the time, I was working stations in the Southeast United States. So I had the Texas market and Louisiana and Georgia and Mississippi, but 3 stations. But the movement was so phenomenal. It's like, wow. It's like taking an Alka-Seltzer and dropping it in some water. It's like, whoa, it fuzz. It fizzes everywhere.
Job's not finished. Job's not finished.
Yeah, so it was,
Yeah.
but here again, people were saying no. Now, fortunately for me, I was at a record company that we had other records. So it wasn't I wasn't working just one song. But I wasn't taking the no answers because it was like, oh, y'all wrong. I can't insult them because I need them, one. I can't insult them because 2 weeks from now, I'll probably have 2 or 3 more records. So I cannot shut you down, turn you off, or insult you to a point that I think, you ain't got no ears, man. You can't hear.
Yeah.
I might feel that way, but I can't say that.
Well, okay, so perfect example. You see a lot of people who are just like, I don't care. That's not the rule. I'm gonna just say what I say. I got to keep it 100.
Yeah.
And like they're like, I just always gotta spit that. So I wanted to ask you, how do you feel whenever you hear anybody say I gotta keep it 100?
That depends on what's your agenda. Are you trying to win? If you're trying to win, you might want to every now and then drop 100 to 25.
Yeah, keep it 25.
25.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you doing? What's your goal? What's your objective? Are you trying to score, or you just want to show? You want to show you got the most bragging rights? Are you,
Yeah.
you know, you the big man on campus. What? What's the deal?
That's how you get one hit wonders. The people like they were
Oh,
like,
there's
I
some of
just-
those too. We won't talk about none of those. I know some.
Oh, so-
But 100 is okay. But what are you keeping 100? Success, winning. That's important.
Right.
yeah.
But if you're keeping 100, your ego, you're insulted, you're offended. You need a reality check.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you gotta. You know, we were talking about centrifugal force. I'm gonna defy centrifugal force. You're kidding me.
It's already emotion. There ain't nothing
Yeah.
you got to do. It's
Ego
already
death.
happening.
Yes, it's
And to be
just-
willing to put to death your ego 1,000 times. Part of the reason why I chose the name Pheonyx is I feel like there's always a point where I'm putting to death an old version of myself and rebuilding a new one. So
Yeah.
I love that analogy of constantly being on that.
Yeah.
The spin.
dope.
Yeah.
But you know, almost only works in horseshoes. I mean, we almost had it. Don't mean
horseshoes and hand grenades. Yes.
that's the only time almost I'm a golf.
Yeah.
You talking about taking them shots with the basketball?
Yeah.
Talking about a touchdown? You got to be on it.
Yeah.
And it's some. Anytime we watch games and we see these amazing plays made when there's very little time on the clock, it's the end, and the verdict is like, "Oh wow, you're gonna lose. You done already lost," and it don't go down. Doesn't happen. But that's
Ernie,
I'm sorry.
do you feel like no, please, no reason for apology. Do you feel as if maybe this is the question is two sides to the same coin, but do you feel as if there's a creative perseverance versus a creative insanity, or do you feel like the ends justify the means in that aspect? If you hit the basket, it's a great shot. You miss the basket, find a new job. Do you feel like the perseverance is insanity until it strikes, until you strike gold?
You went over my head with that. That's I'm only knee deep. You went you went down there where the treasures are. Give me that again, because I'm trying to follow you, but I think I got an answer, but I'm not sure.
Let's say Michael Jordan, for instance. Is his work ethic crazy until if he loses? Are these all bad shots? Was this for nothing? If I worked this hard, I resisted, I fought the status quo. You know, people said I wasn't going to make it, and I still fought that. But, you know, maybe I missed that shot. So then everybody's correct? Or am I just as great as I've always been? Am I good for not listening to people around me? Am I good for staying in this gym and maybe forsaking certain aspects? Or am I crazy for doing that? Am I consistent, or am I insane? You know, and do the ends justify the means? You know, is it if Funky Town doesn't hit, you know what I mean? Were you persistent, or does it matter?
If it wouldn't have hit, I wouldn't have felt that it wasn't a hit record. I knew it was a hit record. I was convinced it was a hit record. It needed what it got, finally. It needed exposure. Once the exposure happened, the same crazy stuff that happened in Jackson, Mississippi, in El Paso, Texas, and I want to think it was Houston, the other station.
Right.
It happened all over the damn country.
Yeah.
So now, do I go back and watch people's face when I told you so? No, no.
I was just playing Funky Town literally last week. I was driving around playing
What were
Funky
you
Town.
doing?
Solid record.
What were you doing?
Solid record. He was on his way to the disco.
Like it's, no, I'm not even lying. Like I literally was just driving around, and my son was in the car. I was like, "What are you playing?" Like I was like,
See, he knew it was.
but
a hit.
it was he knew.
You heard
Yeah.
that.
It's still like even he's 9 years old, but it just triggered him. Like he liked what he liked.
But it's I'm glad you mentioned that, because it reminds me of what I'm hearing now. When I mentioned earlier about Doja Cat, and they sampled the Dionne Warwick, Burt Bacharach. Burt Bacharach is the guy who created the music track for most of Dionne's hits. The Big Mama Thornton, You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog, that Kendrick just did it with a Luther record. And he calls the song Luther.
Yep.
You know, that to me is an indication of something that's happening that does a couple of things. it immediately draws in an audience that's 30, 40, 50 years older than the average 20-year-older.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know that when they hear that,
Yeah.
that song, that piece. Kind of like when you talked about Rapping Duke. When
Yeah.
else mentioned something about Rapping Duke.
Yeah.
When you integrate some of the old music elements, what you have to be on top of, though, is how do you do that legally?
Oh, that's tricky. Yeah.
But it's tricky, but it's not that tricky. You know, there are people who know what to do with stuff like that. But when you make it and you don't know you violated and you just put it out there, that's a problem. You know, that was a kiss of death. God rest his soul, Biz Markie. That was an album he did, and he sampled. I don't want to call the artist's name who he sampled, but he sampled somebody's name who didn't give a shit. It's like, you sampled my stuff and you didn't come back to ask my permission? And they made Warner Brothers pull the records out of the stores. At that point in time, people were buying physical records.
Yeah.
But that caused Biz his deal. You know,
That's unfortunate.
well, because it was an expensive mistake. But we'll make mistakes, you know, and we'll take some falls, you know. I think it's normal to, when we think we're right and we act on it and we're wrong, you know, sometimes there are consequences that are devastating, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're just consequences. But you know, you fail. Michael Jordan comment, yeah, you're gonna miss some baskets, but practice, man, and practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Yeah.
I
Practice
like
and practice and practice. You can practice and keep practicing. But, you know, and when you perfect your practice, now you're on to something. Till you run into other players who know how to intercept you and cut you off. And
Yeah.
different.
Somebody that's been practicing just as much on the other side.
Right.
Who understand your plays.
Yeah.
Who knows your moves.
Right.
You know, and you know, a good coach, thinking football and basketball.
Go back to your point about the team, even. It's hand in hand. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, a good coach makes it difficult, because if the coach is really, really good, a lot of good coaches are just overrated. They're not that damn.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know, and a lot of players need a degree of nurturing, and they don't always get it.
I mean, like even like Kobe Bryant, for example, like he was a whole different player before Phil Jackson joined the team.
It's management versus leadership.
Yeah.
Like
And-
at
well
work, you have
said.
tons of managers, but who really has leadership capability? And that's a totally different energy exchange, and getting in the you know, the grind with your team and knowing that and being able to analyze and get to people's spirit and their motivation. So I hear leadership speaking.
Yeah.
Well said. Well
Very
said.
well said.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, because you were somebody that was deep within the industry, and you know, for some of the people on the outside, they always say different conspiracies and things. They're trying to say certain people are still alive. Do you believe in any of that, or no?
I'm a New Orleanian man. You know, I grew up around hoodoo and voodoo, but I don't believe none of them people who dead are alive.
Okay.
Well, Tupac's not in Cuba.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They say
No,
Tupac,
no.
Michael Jackson. They saying all these people like they
Nipsey
just.
Hussle.
That's
death,
people. That's weird. That you will have to bring one of them to me, and they better look like who they're supposed to be.
What about cloning? Cloning?
Well, you know, that's all happening too. But
Okay.
but you're not. No, the answer is no.
Okay, yeah.
The
Okay.
answer is
Give
no.
them the Ernie test.
Right.
And I'm a
Right.
big,
We wanna
I'm a
see
big
Ern.
fan of, I'm a big fan of AI.
Yeah.
You know, there's some interesting stuff that we're getting ready to do. My team and I.
Nice.
You know,
Interesting.
Yeah, AI is really taking over right
Yeah.
now, and
Yeah.
it's so it could be useful, or it could be on the opposite side of the coin. So,
I'm just thinking entertainment.
but yeah, just the good
Yeah.
side of it.
I
Yeah,
want to make it entertaining.
that makes
Make
sense.
it fun.
Yeah.
You know, make it fun. You know, will some people do something crazy with it? Sure they will. But
Interesting. It just made me think about the shift with the artists, or I'm sorry, actors that literally were in the ban against their images being used for AI, and it was putting them in a position where they were losing their jobs, but their likenesses were being used. I heard at one point Timbaland had kind of used this AI to create his own AI artist, and people were in upheaval over it.
Is this the Suno thing?
Do
that I've
yeah?
heard
Do
about?
you see,
Yeah.
or do you foresee AI stepping in and literally wiping out creativity and artistry in its natural human form?
I don't know that, but I do believe that AI is going to have a tremendous impact on the dynamic of the next level of entertainment.
Okay.
And in general, I mean, it's, you know, I go to CES every year. I have anyway for the last maybe about 10 years or so. And I was always amazed. I'd go to CES just to see what's new
Okay.
and marvel at it,
Right.
you know. But remember, when the iPhone was first made, it was the media stories was that you can't duplicate this. And in a matter of a couple of months, the Android came out. You know? So technology is not going away. You know, I encourage young people to really get with the program. You know, if you can take AI classes and training, do it.
Okay.
Do it. You want that under your belt in your wheelhouse. You know, most people in my generation and 20 years or 30 years younger, they're frustrated when they go to the job market because everything is done online.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, we got a generation of young people who were born in this space. It's gonna be it's gonna have a negative impact. Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
And you have a segment as well, right, Phoenix?
Do we have time?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, well, we do. So this is gonna be a random segment. I'm literally gonna throw up a picture. It's gonna have a caption, and you're gonna just guess what the heck you think is happening, and then you'll get to see what really happened. So I mean, I'm
okay.
just gonna load
Ready
us
for
up.
it? All right. So,
Bear with me, it's new. All right, so
Here we go.
doggone it.
Here we go.
as you see, that's the caption. That is the picture. So just randomly spout out what the heck. Make a random storyline.
Something extremely cute's got to happen.
Okay.
Jumps at the camera.
The dog only has 3 legs.
Yo,
Oh
No,
you
I'm
know
not
what?
saying- I'm-
it is
that's got
hidden
to
in
be
the
it.
back.
I'd like to change my guess.
How about the dog is looking for piece of chocolate to eat?
Ooh,
Oh,
nice,
he's
nice.
out for a death mission.
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, you know, they give them people food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you what this really is. It's just random, strange news.
Doggone
This
it.
is Valerie the Dashan, the mini Dashan, with his family, right? With her family, an Australian family that went on a camping trip. They went to Kangaroo Island, which is a remote island in southern Australia. And this little badass dog took off and was gone for 17 months, y'all.
Oh, my
and survived in the wilderness. The parents had to leave.
Interesting.
After 2 days of trying to search for their animal, went back home. 17 months later, a farmer caught the little badass running through the wilderness, snapped a photo, and the wildlife preservation group was able to capture the dog and bring it back home.
Wow.
So yeah, that's Valerie the dog with her parents returned safely back home
Her Paulins.
Yeah,
The
Paulins. The Paulins. Yeah.
Adorable.
17 months in the wilderness,
Yeah.
snakes.
He
All
had
kind
a
of
Homeward
animals.
Bound story.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. So just something random. We have one more after this. It's gonna keep it rolling.
Let's see the next one. But I came from a generation where the dogs all lived outside.
Yeah.
So thinking that dogs can't survive
Yeah.
outdoors is, I don't know, that's something we come up with.
A newer thought process. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, dog's pretty is a thug, right?
made it.
Yeah.
She said, "I'm outside." Maybe we'll save the next one for.
We can do one more, yeah.
You do one more? You want to roll with it? Okay, we'll
Yeah.
do it again. Here's the other one. Don't mind this title. We're just gonna roll with it. You're probably not gonna guess it.
Oh,
What
Lord.
that mouth do?
Okay. He's catching something. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching.
Okay. What is this gentleman doing?
Pause. I'm joking.
No, he is paused. That's why he looks like that. He's not free.
He's got a jelly bean or a candy or something.
Boom.
Or
Somebody's about to throw it to him.
Okay, no, that's a great
take it in
guess.
his mouth. Great.
Maybe he's putting his mouth
Sure.
on the glass and it's showing how clean the glass is.
Okay. He's a glass
Okay,
cleaner.
well, I'm actually going to show you what it is. This man has hit a Guinness World Record for spitting table tennis balls at a wall 51 times in 30 seconds. So his name is David Rush. And he did this on a Disney World cruise, guys.
Let's go. He's hyped too. He's in. Yeah, this is human accomplishment.
I should have known better.
This is human ability.
You were right about the spitting and the catching, but isn't that random?
Wow.
How do you
That's a
even
wild
learn you can
thing.
do that, right?
Yeah, here we are.
She's
Here we are to
right
say
about
this,
the
it's a
spitting and the
freaky
catching.
segment. This is a mad freaky segment, dog.
Nigga, he had an M&M with peanut.
Yeah, I thought
There we
so.
go.
Like that's what I thought.
Ping pong balls, so you guys are gonna compete.
Very good.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
I still want to see it. He's wild, but I'd like to see it.
Yeah, that's
though.
funny. pretty
So Ernie, I want to ask, we heard about, well, first of all, thank you, Pheonyx, for the
Yes,
segment.
for sure.
That was-
Appreciate it.
That was
That's
fun.
cool, Phoenix.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a little fun here.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, you got an up and coming project that I've heard about.
Yeah.
Are you able to speak on it?
Absolutely.
For Home
yeah.
on the Brave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're doing a prime time television talent competition. We're already greenlit to over 200 million households
Nice.
on CBS, Tubi, BET, Pluto, and WGN.
Ooh, no, yeah, you can see it anyway.
It's a primetime talent competition, but there are no judges.
Whoa.
It's for our veterans. It's to acknowledge, like people always say, "Oh, thank you for your service, thank you for your service." For people who really been in some of these wars
Right.
and have seen some of the crazy stuff, or they're fighting the enemy, and oftentimes they're just praying that they don't get hit.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's kind of like getting in a fight. You can't get in a fight if you don't think you're going to ever get hit.
Right.
So, but what our veterans have gone through is so monumental for our country. So we're going to have a talent competition for the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, and Coast Guards. And the show is called Home of the Brave.
Active and retired, right? Active and
It's
retired?
we're really targeting veterans.
Veterans, okay.
Okay, or family members of military people.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
So if you're a cousin, a brother, a sister, husband or wife, a child of a military person, a grandchild, that's fine. Or if you're a veteran. But the 6 branches are going to be competing. The show's going to air in March. I don't have the exact date, but it's going to be in March.
Congrats,
Okay, I
man.
love
Yeah.
it.
Coming up right around
And,
the corner.
we're excited about it.
It sounds
and-
amazing.
That's right.
Yeah, and there are going to be prizes. We're going to do a lot for like sending kids to college.
I love that.
Whose parent got killed in military. We're going to help homeless veterans and veterans without limbs, disabled veterans. So that's a big part of what we are focused on.
Man, that's dope.
And
Right?
that, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
We're
thank you for
excited.
that. Because
Yeah,
that,
we're
man,
excited.
yes, seriously.
My father's a veteran,
Yeah.
Marine, so shout out to our
Yeah.
Oh,
families.
my
military
grandfather
families.
was a veteran too. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
in World War II.
Okay.
So your father's a veteran?
Yes.
So that means you got some talent? You can.
He can sing. He definitely
Not
can.
him, you.
Oh, me? Oh, well, maybe we'll do a little something
I mean,
together.
I'm not saying he can't, but yeah.
Well, maybe we'll do a family project.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that'd
might
be
be
dope.
interesting to do.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
We're just gonna go ahead and just do some quick closing thoughts of something that you just want everybody to leave with that watched today, and something that you hope they resonate with. We're gonna start with you, Pheonyx.
Yeah, to kind of touch in on what our special guest had mentioned, a broken clock is right 2 times a day. Just keep at what you're doing, stay positive, your mindset, lean it towards the ascension of your life, and things will work out for you. Shoot for the stars. If not, you fall in the clouds. So I'll send you with peace and blessings.
Thank you, Pheonyx. Soze.
Whether persistent, perseverant, or insane, keep going. Keep going by all means, by any means, until something happens, as they say. Push. As I said last time, you got everything you need, and just being aware of that and being confident in same as Funky Town, just knowing what you have and being certain about what you have, so to where the outcome doesn't sway you really too much either way. You're certain that you have it, and just keep moving forward on that.
Thank you, Soze. And Ernie, you got a closing thought?
Closing thought. One? Just one?
Make it pop.
Yeah,
Make it pop.
yeah. I just thought about something that just came in my head. Because I was thinking about team, right? Well, a girl who worked for me in Chicago came up with a button that was the New Edition button. But
Yes.
the LL Cool J put it in the song. The New Edition Bobby Brown button. It was a button with all their faces on it. I still had that button, but the staff member of mine who came up with that, when I saw it, I approved it. But when I saw it, I was so blown away with it that I made it something that we sent all around the country. And months later, of course, it'll be an LL Cool J's record. But our goal was to be a competitor to the Jackson 5 with New Edition. Whoa. That was so that button was important.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to be able to have access to New Edition because the Jackson 5, you couldn't get close to them.
No.
So we did all sorts of things with New Edition, to autographing at schools and you name it. And it worked everywhere. So, and I said all that just to say, think out the box.
Yeah.
Think out the box. The worst you can do is fail. But if you fail trying, who cares?
Yep.
No, just go for it. Go for it.
Right.
So
Thank you, Ernie. And everybody at home, I want you guys to understand there's nothing that can really stop you permanently except for your own mindset. It's all perspective, and you can keep going in your art, your dream, your field. There's nothing that can limit you or hold you back except for yourself. So I've been Ro. This is Know Your Ro. Thank you, guys. We're out of here.
Ro.
Bye.
The difference between dreamers and achievers is self-discipline. Are you willing to wake up? Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to go the extra mile to make sure that you aren't just someone that's rambling off about different ideas and you're actually trying to achieve something and make this a reality?